to the murders!
Cornell University professor Russell Rickford called the Hamas killings exhilarating.
It was exhilarating, it was energetic.
And an instructor at Stanford has been suspended for allegedly making Jewish students stand in a corner while publicly referring to them as colonizers.
Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
It can be, depending on the context.
Hey guys and girls, welcome back to my channel and back to another video. Just FYI, today is going to be a crazy rant video because you know me. So we're going to be talking about the craziness in college campuses and how anti-Semitism seems to be perfectly fine, and how 3 presidents of 3 prestigious colleges here in the United States couldn't bluntly say that anti-Semitism on their campuses should not be tolerated and will not be tolerated. It's like we're living in a twilight zone. Let's get into this. So on December 5th, a hearing was done in Congress questioning what was happening in college campuses regarding anti-Semitism, regarding calls for the genocide of Jews, and things of that nature. Now, the presidents who were being questioned were from some of the most prestigious schools in this country. We're talking about Harvard, MIT, Penn State. And here's a quick article on Time talking about what was going on. So it says, Harvard's Claudine Gay and Penn's Liz McGill were lambasted for refusing to say at the December 5th event that calling for the genocide of Jews is against school policy, instead offering narrow legal responses. And by narrow, that's an understatement.
Let me ask you this. You are president of Harvard, so I assume you're familiar with the term intifada, correct?
I've heard that term, yes.
And you understand that the use of the term intifada in the context of the Israeli-Arab conflict is indeed a call for violent armed resistance against the state of Israel, including violence against civilians and the genocide of Jews. And there have been multiple marches at Harvard with students chanting, quote, "There is only one solution, intifada revolution," and, quote, "globalize the intifada." Based upon your testimony, you understand that this call for intifada is to commit genocide against the Jewish people in Israel and globally.
We embrace a commitment to free expression, even of views that are objectionable, offensive, hateful. It's when that speech crosses into conduct that violates our policies against bullying, harassment,
Does that speech not cross that barrier? Does that speech not call for the genocide of Jews and the elimination of Israel?
We embrace a commitment to free expression.
Liz McGill came under fire after she declined to say outright during a congressional hearing that calling for the genocide of Jews would violate Penn's code of conduct.
I am asking, specifically calling for the genocide of Jews, does that constitute bullying or harassment?
If it is directed and severe or pervasive, it is harassment.
So the answer is yes.
It is a context-dependent decision, Congresswoman.
She faced growing calls to resign, even as she sought to clarify her position in a social media post.
I was not focused on, but I should have been. The irrefutable fact that a call for genocide of Jewish people is a call for some of the most terrible violence human beings can perpetrate.
McGill has agreed to stay on until an interim president is appointed and will remain a tenured faculty member, according to the chair of the Board of Trustees.
So we're talking about them being questioned by Congress and having what I would call softball questions. You know, questions like, so calling for the genocide of Jews, that would be a violation of the school's policy, wouldn't it? And instead of giving a straightforward answer of, yes, that would be against school policy, of course, we heard this instead.
We embrace a commitment to free expression.
Let's play devil's advocate here. Let's say that anti-blackness was running rampant at college campuses and kids were talking about how black people are dangerous, how black people shouldn't be allowed in their schools, how the black race needs to be obliterated, things of that nature, right? Could you imagine if a congressperson asked a college president, is it against school policy to call for the genocide of black people? Could you imagine if that president said,
It can be, depending on the context.
It depends on the context? Yeah, I'm gonna say, hell to the no. That would not be tolerated, not for 2 seconds. But for some reason, when it comes to Jewish people and when it comes to anti-Semitism, there seems to be room for interpretation. There seems to be space for that type of hate. And I'm just asking myself, why? Like, what is going on here? It seems to be okay if the hate is against Jewish people, and it seems to be okay if anti-Semitism is in the air as long as it's within context. Well, let's make something very, very clear, at least on my channel. Anti-Semitism is wrong, end of story. And it shouldn't take a legal team, it shouldn't take interpretation, dissecting your language to be able to say that calls for genocide against Jewish people, that supporting a movement like Hamas, a terrorist organization, shouldn't be tolerated. The same way we wouldn't tolerate people praising Nazis in college. In my opinion, wokeism and the left have completely gone off the rails. So much so that now they're trying to twist and turn around and do somersaults as to not say that anti-Semitism on their campuses shouldn't be tolerated. There is no room for interpretation. But then again, this is also the same generation at these colleges who have discovered Osama bin Laden and who have decided that Osama bin Laden was nothing more than a martyr, was trying to open our eyes. He wasn't a bad guy. He wanted to free Palestine.
Insane, because this letter is so well written and so reasonably structured in an argument. Like, you got to present your findings, you got to state your cause, all of that. Like, everything he said was valid.
I think that they took out Osama bin Laden because he was trying to open America's eyes to this illegal occupation that they're helping Israel with of the Palestinian people. And also he's holding America accountable for their part in this illegal occupation and unaliving of the Palestinians for decades.
That's who we are talking to. And what's sad is you have these presidents of these universities who, instead of speaking up and being voices and being leaders, instead they're bowing down to woke ideology. This is why I always say that colleges in the States are hogwash. I'm sorry. They're nonsense. They're indoctrination camps. When you have presidents of these colleges that can't say the basics, that can't say that anti-Semitism, that hate against Jewish people is not okay, we've entered the twilight zone. And in case you're wondering, this isn't an exaggeration. This isn't, oh, the kids are saying something and people are just jumping to their own conclusions and they're just, trying to make this political. No, people are on these campuses literally screaming for the martyrs, which would be Hamas, the terrorist organization that committed October 7th. Those people.
What we're seeing this week on college campuses is the culmination of 2 generations of activist scholars using college classrooms to create indoctrination camps where they use leftist ideology and anti-Israel critiques and work as a mask to perpetuate anti-Semitism.
The anti-Israel BDS movement, which stands for Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions, has been allowed to flourish on campuses nationwide.
From the river to the sea!
After the Hamas attack on Israel, the BDS movement's website posted and later deleted that it supported the slaughter of Israelis by Hamas, calling it heroic and justified.
You have people on college campuses literally trying to humanize Hamas and make an excuse for their terrorist attack on October 7th. How is that okay? But again, when it comes to Jews, for some reason, there's always room for interpretation when it comes to the hate that they receive. And what's sad about this is it doesn't just stop at college campuses. It literally is infiltrating every sector of society. I literally just posted a video on TikTok this past week regarding a coffee shop, I believe in Oakland, California, where a Jewish woman wanted to use the bathroom and the workers wouldn't let her because there was anti-Semitism writings all over the walls of the bathroom. Anti-Semitism that they agreed with. Watch this.
I want to go into the restroom.
You're holding up shit. All right.
Also, currently, this is a private property. I want to go into the restroom. I do need you to leave.
I know Israel loves taking private property and saying it's their own, but we gotta head.
You're not going to let me
You're
go
also
into the
misgendering them,
restroom?
so I need you to leave.
I want.
Did she just say you are misgendering them? Okay. Why is it always the people who probably would be quickly unalived by Hamas that support this movement? I'm just trying to understand why. Chickens for KFC, cows for McDonald's, turkeys for Thanksgiving.
That Zionism is. Why are you afraid? If you agree with it, why are you afraid that I will take a picture of you?
Oh, actually,
Okay.
yeah, great, please.
Why, if you agree with it, why? Why are you afraid?
I'm not afraid of it.
Then why you're not letting me in?
Because this is what you're
Yeah,
doing.
yeah,
Please.
yeah.
History didn't start in 1948, lady.
Free Palestine. Now
Free Palestine. It's always.
Please leave. Thank you.
It's always. Yeah, great. We love it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We are living in a day and age where Jewish people are openly dealing with anti-Semitism just like this in the name of a movement. No. Everyone should be able to use the bathroom without walking into graffiti that dehumanizes their very existence. But, you know, we live in 2023 where anti-Semitism is A-okay for a movement. Here's where it gets really dark though. So after the hearing on December 5th, SNL this past Saturday decided to do a sketch, a cold open on the actual hearings. And rather than speaking about and addressing the fact that these prestigious college presidents couldn't condemn anti-Semitism on their campuses, instead SNL focused on one of the congresswomen who was questioning the anti-Semitism happening. And instead, the entire cold open was about how crazy and loopy the Republican is for asking about anti-Semitism and how unhinged she supposedly was.
Anti-Semitism, yay or nay? Yes or no is calling for the genocide of Jews against the Code of Conduct for Harvard. Do you think genocide is bad? Am I winning this hearing? Somebody pinch me. I am here today because hate speech has no place on college campuses. Hate speech belongs in Congress, on Elon Musk's Twitter, in private dinners with my donors, and in public speeches by my work husband, Donald Trump. Would you say that you are anti-Semitic?
I'm sorry, can you tell me how many antis that was?
I will not.
Now, thankfully, this cold open has not gone over well with the public. Thank you, Lord. The comments are completely negative all over SNL's YouTube page, with people asking, really? Where was the joke? Where was the comedy? Where was the punchline? Why is anti-Semitism a punchline? Why is it okay to completely twist what happened in order to make the Republican look crazy while the presidents of these schools got away scot-free? Welcome to leftism, people. This is what it looks like. Now, Liz McGill, she recently resigned because there was so much backlash after her ridiculous responses at this hearing. She decided to step down because she was misinterpreted and she didn't answer correctly and she regrets what she said. AKA, she's being told to leave because Jewish donors and Jewish students are leaving those prestigious schools in droves. And now these school campuses are scared of losing the money. Go woke, go broke.
I mean, after the news of the hearings went around the globe, donors started closing their checkbooks. UPenn, whose president was the second you saw there in that grab, just lost a $100 million commitment from a hedge fund billionaire who was prepared to stump up for a new Center for Innovation in Finance. Meanwhile, at Harvard, longtime donors are slashing their annual contribution to just $1 in protest. And the very beleaguered Ivy League is now offering mega donor status, which allows special treatment for a donor's kid come admissions time, slashing that down to just $2 million, cutting the price of admission, so to speak, by 90% from its previous threshold of $20 million.
Look, this goes beyond what's happening in the Middle East right now, right? This isn't about Palestine versus Israel. This is about humanity. You can say that what is happening in Gaza right now with the Palestinian civilians being killed is tragic. It's horrible. It's heartbreaking. And at the same time, you can also say that anti-Semitism and hate for Jewish people is also horrible and heartbreaking, especially given history. But it seems like we're okay with repeating history if it's for a cause. I'm going to be very clear on this channel. Anti-Semitism is wrong. Jewish hate is wrong. And if that gets me canceled, baby, cancel me. I'm ready. I don't care. I will die on this hill. Because I would not be co-signing people who are trying to dehumanize Jewish people once again for the sake of a cause. Not on my watch. I will not be on the wrong side of history. Because believe it or not, when the Holocaust happened, it started like this, with Hitler and the Nazi Party blaming Jews for everything. It always starts with chatter, and then comes action. Pay attention, people. I really hope that all of these college presidents who have no backbone, who can't speak up against Jewish hate, I hope they all resign and lose their jobs. But it's 2023, so who knows? All I know is I'm going to continue to talk about this and speak up about it because I have a platform and I'm going to use it to speak up against this type of hate. Period. End of story. And if that bothers you as a viewer, there's the door. Peace out. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this topic. Do you think that SNL was absolutely bonkers crazy for their reaction in their cold open? I do. And what do you think about these prestigious college presidents who try to maneuver their way around not saying that anti-Semitism is wrong and that calling for the genocide of Jews is wrong or can be interpreted? Lord, help us. If you enjoy my content, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit my notification bell so you know when I post a brand new video. You can also follow me on all other social media platforms under CurlyBoyChuck, on Twitter, also known as X, Instagram, and of course, TikTok. Until next time. Peace.